Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. My name is Youssef, and I'm here with my co-host Adam.
Hey guys, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that sub button. It would really mean a lot to us because today we're talking about a topic we all want to hear. Lionel Messi, Copa America champion, winning Ballon D'Or number 7. And, there was a good ESPNFC video we saw going around YouTube talking about what's it going to take to stop Messi from getting it. That number 7, there is nothing in the world, according to the Barca Breakdown. Well, at least according to me, we all know Yus has a little bit of an anti-Messi agenda, but it looks like after being the top scorer, top assister, best player of the tournament in this Copa America, looks like Messi has it coming home to Barcelona. So, Yus, why don't you go over a little quick refresher on how the Ballon d'Or is voted for?
Sure. So FIFA has a rule, and people are supposed to vote according to the on-field performance and overall behavior on and off the pitch. The people who vote are a team of national coaches, captains, and a select special journalists. So they all vote, and they have 3 votes. Their first, second, third preference. Their first preference gets 5 points. Second gets 3 points, and third gets 1 point. And
that's huge, right? Because the ranked choice voting is really big. Because I don't know if you guys remember, Lionel Messi won the last Ballon d'Or, number 6. In 2019, and he was up against Virgil van Dijk, who had won the Champions League that year and the Premier League, I believe. And so I'm going to have to fact check that. But, it was really close. And it was the fact that, a lot of people put Messi first and second that really helped him win, just barely eking out over Virgil van Dijk. And, I think this year is going to be really intense to see if Messi wins because, he's the best player in the world. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But there is a fatigue that happens amongst journalists especially. I think it happens less amongst the players and the coaches. But with journalists, there happens to always be a fatigue about giving the best player the same award over and over. And it is kind of obscene. Messi's already won 6, right? 1 more than Cristiano, and this might be number 7. And it happens a lot in, for instance, basketball. LeBron James, right, only has 3 MVPs, even though he should probably have 6 or 7. So I think the first big worry I have when we talk about, things that might stop Messi from winning the Ballon d'Or is the media and an overall fatigue. And then I think as we get into the players' use, right, I think the first one that comes to mind is Lewandowski. And this one kind of comes in right in the same vein as the whole media fatigue, is that Lewandowski, rightfully so, should have won the Ballon d'Or in 2020. No doubt about that, right? Everyone, I think, is in agreement with Bayern winning the Champions League, beating Barca, as we all remember, in that crazy 8-2. And so, in the pro Lewandowski corner, right, he scored a crazy amount of goals. I believe this season he broke Gerd Muller's record for the most goals in a single Bundesliga season. However, he was injured, and he didn't make the Champions League quarterfinals against PSG. Might have been the semis. And as well, Poland didn't do that well in the Euros. They had a crazy last game where they almost made it to the group stage, or to the knockout stage, but didn't. So, Yus, what do you think about Lewandowski overall this year?
It's no doubt that Lewandowski is a phenomenal player, scoring tons of goals and, breaking Muller's record. But at the end of the day, this award is for the whole world performance, right? You're playing in these multiple competitions. If you're not able to show up in those competitions and perform, I don't think you should get an award that rewards you for your calendar year performance, because he only really performed really well in his club team, which is in Bundesliga, Bayern Munich. So at the end of the day, like I was saying, he hasn't done enough to get this Ballon d'Or, although he had a wonderful performance.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think, if you take Messi out of the equation and you try to figure out who the world's best player over the last 2 years, Lewandowski is probably number 2, right? He is definitely the best striker in the world. He puts in a lot of goals, and as much as, we'll talk about Jorginho and Conte next, I mean, scoring goals is what carries teams to victories. Like you said, and like I mentioned before, missing the Champions League against PSG, even though it's by injury, I mean, hey, that you still have to account for that. And then, if he was going to be a serious contender with Messi, he probably would have had to made the semifinals at least, if not the finals with Poland, even though they're a worse off team. I mean, you're going against Messi, who won, an international trophy that was so historic for his team. I think then as we get into the next probably number 3, who's the favorite to win, is Jorginho, right? And this is kind of the Luka Modric rule, right? Because in 2018, Modric won the Champions League with Real Madrid against Liverpool. He also made it to the World Cup final. And even though in that year, I think we all agree Messi was a better player, I mean, Modric, he won and he made it to the final. And in the same vein, Jorginho won the Champions League with Chelsea, and he also won the Euros with Italy, which is pretty huge, right? And I think what makes it just on the trophy level, that's a big deal for Jorginho. So I totally understand people who want him to win. However, I think if you look at like the Champions League campaign for Chelsea, or you look at the Euro campaign for Italy, I don't think he was the key player for either of those teams. He was, however, a huge element of them winning. And so, Jorginho deserves some credit, and I think that he will get a lot of nominations. I mean, you see the Cristiano Ronaldo fans on Twitter saying, hey, we have to prop up Jorginho to make sure that he wins so Messi doesn't win another one, and make it even more clear that Messi is the greatest player of all time above Ronaldo.
Jorginho, no doubt, was instrumental in those two champions, right? The Euros and the Champions League. But, right, like if you go to vote and you have 3 votes and you have 1, 2, 3, I would not put Jorginho as my 1. Sure, I could put him as a 2 or a 3, but that's only 3 to 1 point. So, like, at the end of the day, I think the thing that's going to stop Jorginho from winning is that people are going to think he did well, but not well enough to get that first place spot in their voting sequence.
And that's the thing. Kind of like you're saying, like Modric in that Modric for Real Madrid was huge, and Modric in that World Cup was also huge. He was undisputably Croatia's best player. He was, besides Rakitic at the time, who had those huge,
my boy, I was
penalty
rooting for him
shoots
so
in
much.
like 3 straight. In 3 straight rounds. I mean, Modric was clearly the best player. Jorginho doesn't exactly have that same pedigree, I feel like, right? We saw Chiesa, we saw Chiellini. We saw an Italian team that was kind of more well-rounded than having like a top-heavy best player like Croatia did. And so I think you're right. And then, finally, I think the last person that has to be discussed is Conte, because he as well won the Champions League with Chelsea. However, before the tournament, it seemed like it was really going to be his year. And before the tournament, I would have said, hey, I think Conte is going to win the Ballon d'Or because I think France are going to win the Euros. But, of course, with their huge loss in the Euros and not making it past, what was that, round of 16, I think, or quarterfinals, he just, it seems like he's lost a lot of steam. But let's get to the man, the myth, the legend, the international champion, Lionel Messi. Because in our eyes, the title of this video is, what's it going to take to keep Lionel Messi from winning the Ballon d'Or? I don't think there is anything that can keep him from winning a Ballon d'Or. And listen to this, he will be the first player to ever win a Ballon d'Or in 3 different decades, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. I mean, as we start to look at why some of those players don't make it, Lewandowski or Jorginho in our mind as good as Messi. I mean, Messi was the player of the tournament for the Copa America. He had the most goals. He had the most assists. We saw how, passionate he was. We saw him finally end 4 finals in a row. He had lost with Argentina, ending a 15-year streak of not winning an international trophy. We saw that Argentina broke a 28-year streak of not winning a trophy. We saw Messi, 33 goals, 1 less than Lewandowski, but 14 assists. He won the Copa America. I mean, he's had some stupendous moments. Even, we talked about Lewandowski and how he didn't show up in the games against PSG in the Champions League because he was injured. Barca did lose in the Champions League against PSG, but at the same time in that second game, Messi had probably the goal of the tournament, right? That long-range kick, and overall he just had a wonderful year. And so I don't really think there is anything that's going to keep him from winning except for the media fatigue. What do you think?
I mean, all those points, like, listen to how you said all of that, right? Like, all of that stuff took the breath out of you. How many things did you just list off that just surmount to an incredible...
I love Messi,
you do, but
unlike you.
To surmount to an incredible calendar year season, right? At the end of the day, Lionel Messi has done so much to bring the Argentina team up, right? He's the captain of Argentina. He's the captain of Barcelona. He's scoring goals. He's making assists. He's pushing the team forward.
The ball forward, right? He's like a midfielder, but he's also one of the best scorers in the world. I mean, just everything about his game is so undisputed. And, we're preaching to the choir. All of you fans listening, you all know what Messi means to the team. You know how much you know how much better he is than the rest of the world. And so as much as, Lewandowski's number 2 and Jorginho had an impressive year, I really think number 7's coming. So we all got to spam LM, hashtag LM7. We need to make sure that our voices are heard and no one tries to put any of these other players out.
What's weird is that he's been on, before his victory this year in Copa America, he's been on 9 attempts to gain an international trophy. And, all those years he was playing, he did wonderful. He won some of those, a Ballon D'Or in some of those years. But, how could you not give the man this great trophy or this great award for winning the Copa America after so long and performing in a
Sure.
spectacular fashion? And, remember of course you remember, but the penalty shootout with Colombia, that moment in itself, it shows that Messi is the leader. His performance on the field and off the field, technically, right? After he took his shot, he's just watching, and he's now trying to boost up his team to have have them just stick out. And I'm sure after screwing their penalty shootout in 2016, he was there to make sure that they had the confidence to go out there and do that. And that's what a leader does, and that's what the best player in the world does to people around him, right? He brings them up. In Argentina, all the people posting about him basically saying, we did this for you, And how could you not give someone that trophy for being so great, right? I can't say anymore.
I mean, he's there's so many extra things we can throw in, but he's just been the best player in the world this year. There's no doubt about it. He's getting it. It's coming home to Barca. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. If you're going to be anti-Messi,
don't be anti-Messi.
Just keep your comments to yourself. But thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great weekend.